Yo, what's up? KMZX18 Sports here, and we're back with another video. And yes, guys, it's finally here. The Arsenal reflection video is finally here, guys. Yes, I've been saying that. Oh yeah, it's video coming soon. Even though I will admit, guys, I have to apologize. This video should have been done like a week after, not even a week, like 3 days after um the last game of the Arsenal versus I think it was the Wolves game. That should have been this video should have been out there, but it due to two things: one, laziness, and two, just I did not want to rethink this season. Honestly, I'm still like very upset how that season, like this season ended. I truly believe they were going to win the league. God damn it! God damn it, man. Oh well. And I finally got over it. Now that the transfer window has started, I'm like, all right, man. I gotta look back to this season and at least there's some highs in this season. But let's get through it. Let's get through it, guys. Let's get this done. Hopefully, man, luck, like cross my fingers and hope that they actually win big next season, please. Just for my sanity. All right, guys. But yes, let's get started. All right. So far, to start this video, we have to talk a little bit about last year. Last season, Arsenal was in fifth place. They had a chance to make it to the Champions League, but you know they they blew it. So going into this season, they needed like a striker. They needed depth. So, but then they got it. As during the transfer window, they signed Fabio Vieira, Matt Turner, Gabriel Jesus, and Alexander Zinchenko. So overall, that was a pretty good window, to say the least. I thought it was a pretty good window, especially getting Zinchenko, Jesus, and Fabio Vieira for depth, and also Matt Turner as well. So and they did their business pretty early, at least for the most part. So I was very glad about that. They had a pretty good summer as well in preseason, and that really followed to the season start as guys, for the first time and probably since I've been a fan, Arsenal started off well. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, because Arsenal was on fire, man. Because probably like at the start of the season, they won 5 straight games. They beat they almost at Newcastle. They beat Crystal Palace 2-0 in their very first game, which is pretty great because usually are like recently Arsenal's been terrible at Crystal Palace. Then they beat Leicester 4-2, Bournemouth 3-0. They beat Fulham and Aston Villa each 2-1. So, they won 5 straight games to start the season, which is incredible. But unfortunately, they hit their first roadblock against Manchester United. It was at it was at Manchester, which Arsenal really struggles at, and unfortunately, that continued to this season. They lost 3-1. But you know what though? Even after that loss, it was Arsenal pretty. I don't want to say dominate because three losing 3-1. I can't call it a domination. But they played well that game. They just made too many defensive mistakes, which looking back, probably a precursor of what's gonna happen towards the end of the season. But you know what? We didn't know better. But after that, the Arsenal went back to winning ways. They beat Brentford 3-0, Tottenham 3-1. Love that one. They beat Liverpool 3-2, which is crazy because if we're talking about recency, Arsenal struggled against Liverpool home and away, but it was good to finally get them back at home. They beat Leeds 1-0. And surprisingly, this is probably the biggest shock. They tied with that game, the Southampton game, the first one in Southampton. That should not have Arsenal should have beaten Southampton 3-1, but Jesus missed a few easy goals, and obviously Southampton took advantage of mistakes. A recurring theme this season, guys, is mistakes. The right was in the wall, but I didn't see it. God damn it! But after that, the Arsenal found their winning way to beat Nottingham Forest 5-0 with Reece Nelson coming off the bench scoring a brace, which was pretty great. To beat Chelsea 1-0, which honestly should have felt like 3 or 4, but it is what it is. I'll take the dub. And before the World Cup, they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0. And honestly, wow. Up until that point, man, Arsenal was actually the better team. Was the best team in the Premier League because they won all but 2 games, which one of them should have been a win, and the other one, even though Manchester United beat Arsenal, it could have gone either way. But Manchester United scored their goals, which Arsenal couldn't. So going into the World Cup, it was chilling, going back like, hey man, this could be it. This could be the year. And then when they came back, they won 2 straight as well, man. They beat West Ham 3-1 and they beat Brighton 4-2. Although that game kind of, again, hindsight being 2020, we should we should have seen the cracks in that game, unfortunately. Especially how Brighton scored those 2 late goals. Yeah. And then against Newcastle, Arsenal drew 0-0, and honestly, at that point, Newcastle was not conceding goals, so I'll take that. I'll take that scoreline honestly. Then they beat Tottenham 2-0, and then that game, the Manchester United game, where Arsenal, it was a back and forth type of game, but Arsenal came through with Eddie Nketiah scoring the winner the last minute. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that game is my favorite game of the season because not only was because that Manchester United beat Arsenal early in the season, it was also like, damn, we actually beat them. Like, it was just lethargic. The energy was there. I truly believed the Arsenal was gonna win the league because of that. Like, oh man. Unfortunately, they hit their first big roadblock this season. They lost to Everton 1-0, which I understand. Like, for some reason, Arsenal just they they don't perform well in Goodison Park. I don't understand. And also, Sam Dyke had a great game plan. He had a great game plan against Arteta, and I give him credit for that. And then they drew Brentford 1-1, but that they should Arsenal should have won that game, especially after how Brentford they allowed Brentford that offside goal. And then the Man City game, it was tied 1-1, and then it precursor was to come in the second season. They just collapsed in the second half. But even with that, man, they had some pretty great games. This was actually the start of Arsenal's best moments in the season. They beat Aston Villa 4-2. At one point, Aston Villa was actually winning 2-1, but Arsenal just came back with the clutch. They beat Leicester 1-0. Arsenal finally got their revenge against Everton, beating them 4-0, and then beat Bournemouth 3-2. 3-2, and that was a crazy game in and of itself with Reece Nelson scoring an absolute freaking banger, man. And then Arsenal being Fulham 3-0, Crystal Palace 4-1, and Leeds United 4-1. And honestly, going into April, like, man, Arsenal has a chance. They had a chance, bro, but they just couldn't capitalize, man. Like I truly believe, like, oh man, if they could get past Liverpool and West Ham, if they would have won the next 3 games afterwards, there was nothing Man City could do. But man, the worst happened. But before I continue, I need to say something. Like around that time, Arsenal was in the Europa League, and unfortunately, against the second leg against Sporting, the the unthinkable happened. Both Saliba and Tomiyasu went down with injury, and they were both gone for the rest of the season. And it's funny because prior to that game, Eric Ten Hag said, "Oh man, Arsenal have been pretty lucky with injuries." He opened his fucking mouth, and both Saliba and Tomiyasu both went down with injuries. The football god just like man, yeah, I'm so pissed about that. And not only that, they lost. That they were eliminated in penalties against Sporting. So yay! So now they went into the final stretch without arguably their best defender and a pretty good backup defender, and we're now had to play with Rob Holding, who, let's be real, guys, is average at best. But you know what? I actually, have my even with him though, I still had my head up high. Like, hey, we they beat Crystal Palace and Leeds 4-1 each with Rob Holding. I thought we were set. Nope. Then the ball job happened against Liverpool. Arsenal were up 2-0. Man, still hurts. They were up 2-0, but they poked the bear, and Liverpool scored twice. Honestly, they should have won, if I'm being real, but thankfully Salah missed that pretty bad penalty. And then against West Ham, it was the same thing. Arsenal scoring 2 early goals, and then seeing them concede 2 straight as well. And then against Southampton, they were down 3-1 against the worst team in the Premier League this year. And the fact that freaking Arsenal only got 2 points total against Southampton this season is mind boggling. How the fuck did they not get more points against Southampton, man? I don't understand, bro. And then against Man City, it was just a complete another rim job. Man City basically, to describe that game, all I gotta say is Arsenal dropped the soap. It was bad. I legit that game, man. It was just like you can like since the Liverpool game, man. It was just you can see it, man. You can honestly see the choke job when it happened. And I know Arsenal beat Chelsea 3-1. I mean that was a good result, but I felt like it was too little, too late. And then they beat Newcastle 2-0, which was actually a pretty good result as well. But and then that moment when they lost 3-0 to Brian, man, I even though I watched the games, it was hard for me to do videos, man. And I do apologize for not making videos throughout the last 3 games of the season. I was just checked out at that point, man. I was pissed. I was so angry because I this team gave me hope, and then they pretty much curb stomped that. And then the May and just like a cherry on top, they lost to Nottingham Forest 1-0. So it's just like, stereotypical Arsenal fashion, they win the last game by like three or four, like 4 or 5 goals at the very end. It's like, yeah, they won, but it meant nothing except for like, hey, they won big, yay! And that's Arsenal season, man. And the thing that pains me the most, they started off well. They had that low point, the long moment in February, but besides that, they were the best team, man. They were the best team. And then, and look, I'm not gonna say injuries ruined this team because honestly, I'm every team has injuries, but losing Saliba and Tomiyasu at the worst possible time was just backbreaking. And also, I didn't mention this, but when Arsenal came back from the World Cup, their defense was honestly bad. They were conceding goals almost every other game. They were one of the best defensive teams until the World Cup, but afterwards it was just like I think they conceded the seventh worst after the World Cup onwards, which you're not gonna win the league with that. Yeah, even with Saliba on there, they were actually still conceding goals, but he he's so important, but he can progress the ball down deep to, but man, it's just man reliving this again kind of pisses me off. God damn it, man. But if there was one solace, one moment that I can at least take back from this game is the fact that Arsenal finally got Champions League back, man. Holy shit, guys. 2017. 2017 is the last time Arsenal was in the Champions League. And unfortunately, that moment, we all know that moment, that when they got destroyed by Bayern aggregate of 10-2. So at least now I can finally get when I at least get that image off my head once Arsenal goes back to the Champions League. Although I'm calling it now, guys. But we're gonna get Bayern in the group stage. I'm calling it now because the UEFA can be a dick about it. But nah, man. But going back to this season, it has its downs, especially with following the league. But it did have its ups, man. This was actually one of the most enjoyable seasons as an Arsenal fan in about 7 years. The fact that they were in it was amazing. They gave it a great try. Unfortunately, Man City was just a better team, man. They peaked at the right time while Arsenal didn't. And yeah, man, it is what it is. But at least now Arsenal can try to finally address these issues that they had this past season. And that is two things: one, depth in midfield, and depth in defense. Because we seen what happened when we lose Saliba, so they need to get like a backup defender. Not only that, with Granit Xhaka leaving this offseason, they could get Declan Rice. Still not sure about that. It's been on and off with Man City not being in the loop, but we'll see. And then Thomas Partey might leave as well. Don't know about that, but we'll see. So yeah, man, they definitely need depth in midfield and defense. But overall, man, I thought it was a pretty good season. I just hated how it ended, man. It actually, looking back, this season felt like 2013-14, where oh, pretty great throughout the whole thing, and then March happened, and then you're just like, fuck. uh, but you know what, man? At least it's getting me excited for next season. If they play their cards right in the transfer business, I truly believe they'll at least compete again for the league. I know my Man City are still the favorite. I mean, they won the freaking treble for God's sake. But yeah, man. Can't wait. Can't wait. And that's it, guys. Yes, I finally did it. Don't worry. I will make. I will continue to make more videos. I just been lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I just been pretty lazy. You know how it is when the summer, man. It's always that low moments. All right, guys. Catch you later. Like and subscribe below, man. Help a brother out. Please. All right, man. Catch you later. Peace.